Hey guys, it is Sunday, December 8th. Bitcoin's almost exactly at 100,000. And this episode is going to be Bitcoin versus real estate. So I think it's going to be an amazing episode. There is going to be, this episode is available obviously on my YouTube. If you want to, if you like my content, I just implore you to hit the subscribe button. That feeds my giant ego, which is really important. So if you're watching this on X, please go to YouTube, find me, and subscribe. All right. So Bitcoin versus real estate. I got some supporting evidence here, but let's go to an article that was written yesterday, saying all the reasons why real estate is so much better than Bitcoin. Okay, here's a written. Of course, it's written by a real estate real estate industry, and here's what they're saying. Well, number one, if you own real estate, you're going to keep up with inflation. This is great. You have this problem with money printing. You don't have it with inflation. You just hold on. Real estate, the average return's been over 26%. I don't even know what that means. It's not 26% per year, but whatever it means, I think that's an erroneous number. But they're saying it keeps up with inflation, more or less, and I say more or less. It's stable, right? Well, it is more stable than Bitcoin. You have a house. Generally speaking, you can sell it for 20% more or less than your house if you have to sell it in a year. Bitcoin can go up or down a lot more, so that is true. Real estate is more stable than real estate is tangible. Of course, it's tangible. You don't need tangible. Tangible is not a good thing, though. This is just the same thing. Gold is tangible, so it's better than Bitcoin. This is an argument that's just fallacious. Real estate brings in income. Oh wow, this is an argument that people they're obsessed with this income thing. It doesn't matter. It only matters that in the end you make a lot more money than in the beginning. If it trickles in every year or every month, it doesn't matter. The trickling doesn't matter. Real estate has tax benefits. Well, it kind of does now. But Bitcoin has some pretty big tax benefits, actually, because there's no real estate tax on Bitcoin. So that's a pretty big benefit. And then again, Bitcoin's more volatile. Well, that's, again, the same point as this one, which is stability, right? So if it's stable, it's not volatile. If it's volatile, it's not stable. Okay, we got that point. So that's the counterpoint. Now, my point is really done in this tweet. I think it's a much bigger point. I think we are looking at really a once in maybe a millennial sea change where real estate is going to severely underperform Bitcoin over the next couple decades. Now, for centuries, real estate has been the best inflation hedge. John Jacob Astor, the fur trader, who was the richest man in New York, whose great-great-grandson died in the Titanic, right? He made all his money by buying New York real estate. And he did that in the early 1800s. People have bought real estate in ancient Rome and did well. I mean, this has been around since gold. It's like gold. It's in our psyche. But guess what? We now have something that's infinitely better. There's no real estate taxes. There's no tenants. There's no maintenance. And more importantly, it can be sold in seconds. I have a castle. It's the worst investment I've ever made in my life. It's vaguely fun to have, but from an investment point of view, it's stupid. I can't sell. It would take me a year to sell this thing. It's just a nightmare. Maintenance is ridiculous. The maintenance and the liquidity angle alone is really going to just make real estate just totally underperform. And so I think we're going to see a complete sea change where the really smart people are going to rent their entire lives. They're going to buy Bitcoin with their savings. They're going to hold it. They're not going to pay any taxes on it. They're going to have to worry about renting it out. They don't have to worry about Airbnb laws or anything else. And they just won't need to live within this world of income and tenants and maintenance and real estate taxes and everything. So the idea of buying a house is going to be for losers. You won't need it, and you'll be able to rent. And if you'll rent a great house in Los Angeles, if you want to move to New York, you go rent a fantastic condo in New York. You want to move to Paris? Fine, go to Tokyo for a year. I mean, spend a year in Japan. Just rent something amazing. And guess what? Nobody can afford really high rents. Right? So, if you've got Bitcoin, you just pay over the top, pay the top 1%. You're going to get the best place around. It's if you want to buy a great place in Paris, for example. Well, they're really hard to find. They trade by appointment. But if you have $20,000 or $30,000 a month to spend on rent in Paris, no problem. You can just get the best place anywhere you want. No problem. There's some Parisian landlord that'll be happy to sell it to you. So, really what this means is the smart people are going to save their money in Bitcoin, not real estate. And this is really going to be a pivotal moment that's going to change really class structure, because we've had this kind of generation of landlords who've kind of been in charge for the last couple hundred years, and now that generation of landlords can be replaced by people who are smart about Bitcoin. So here's a few things that I would just say that are happening kind of at the intersection of real estate and Bitcoin. I'll just touch on. This is our friend Grant Cardone is launching a Bitcoin real estate fund. I'm not sure this makes a lot of sense, but I think what it tells you is that the real estate market is feeling it's realizing that it's in trouble, right? That they need to somehow latch onto this Bitcoin story. So here you participate in this fund, you get a lot of real estate and you get a little bit of Bitcoin, okay? This thing is something that I think people are trying to push, which is mortgages. Hey, buy a house, buy our overpriced real estate and pay for it by a loan in crypto. That makes a little bit more sense. You don't have to, you can buy a loan, but why? I would just rent, I would just take out the loan and rent and not even be tied to an ownership structure. This is my friend Natalia, who is doing this thing called propping. Now, this thing I think makes a lot of sense. This is, if you do want to buy real estate, kind of automating the process of it versus using the blockchain, getting all the title and stuff, making that more efficient. I don't know, it may be a little early for this, but I think it's ultimately a very good idea. This is a completely antiquated industry that needs to change. So, yeah, that's my thing on real estate. I think, it is just this massive, it's as big as the entire stock market and bond market. I mean, the world real estate market is enormous. And it's yet more money that's got to go pushed into Bitcoin, which is why I think the next couple decades, Bitcoin's going to 100x. It's that simple. It really will, 100x. Bitcoin's going to $10 million a coin in a couple, somewhere between 15 and 25 years, I would say. The mid market would be 20 years, which, will go by. I remember 20 years ago, some younger people are just like, that's forever. Well, it's not. And what it means is that you can save along the way, any job you have, you can save sats. It's a great savings mechanism. But I just think we're in the sea change, this technological sea change, where you have these two fundamental technologies that are going to change the entire world. On one hand, you have AI, where you have thinking machines, and that's going to totally change the world. And the second is Bitcoin, which is going to completely change how you store value. It's just, and money, right? But it's just really the store of value versus stocks and real estate. It's that simple. Both stocks and real estate are going to go down in importance relative to Bitcoin. So that's my episode. Again, if you like it, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it, and I will catch you guys online. And try and subscribe to my content on Twitter. It only costs $1. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at around 200 now. I just started this, so it's $1, and the price will not go up. I'm just really doing it for my ego, but I'll put some extra content on there, and that's kind of my hardcore fan base is the Only Fred group. So see you online. Thanks.